Welcome back. I'm Dr. Jen Verboni, better known as DocJenFit, your doctor of physical therapy, creator and founder of Gen Health, your movement platform for all aches and pains you might experience within your body. And I really want to take you through a mobility flow that you can come back to anytime you're having SI symptoms or you're feeling any tension, like maybe it's really into your low back, maybe it's one-sided versus another, any of those pesky SI issues that might be going on, which we do have a podcast on SI pain as well that I'd highly recommend checking out, because SI pain isn't just about your hips being out of place or something being rotated. It's so much more complex. So understanding what could be going on in your SI is really important, and not listening to any of the things that are just not true. So definitely tune into that. We'll have that linked up. If you do have SI pain, what have you found works for you? I want to hear from you in the comments. Were there certain movements, exercises, an exercise class that you went to that you feel like relieved your pain? Was it something someone did? Maybe it was an adjustment. It was a manipulation that helped you. The root is getting to why. And does it keep coming back? I definitely want you to be able to come back to this mobility flow anytime, but I also want you to understand the root cause. So that's why we're going to be working on opening up your hips a lot so that we take tension off of what's happening in that low back and SI area and get the motion back into where we want to hinge and move from, which is our hip joint. So we're going to start actually with a foam roller. Now, if you don't have a foam roller available, you can roll up like a towel and just have that between your legs. And the goal here is, as we're in a side lying position, you want to keep the core kind of tight. And we want to just think of this top bone, this top leg, kind of shifting forward and backward into your hip, forward and backward. So we're not trying to rotate from the trunk or from the spine here. We're going to use all the work into this upper leg to get into this hip. So we're trying to increase, again, that control and stability around that pelvis so that the back and the trunk doesn't feel like it's taking on all of the work, which is sometimes what happens in SI pain. So you can have a pillow to rest your head on. You're going to come down, place the roller or rolled up towel between the legs, stack them. Okay. And then we're going to inhale from the rib cage, exhale, kind of contracting into that core, stabilizing here. Now with a slight press of the knees together, you're going to think of this knee reaching straight forward, and then this knee coming straight back into your hip. So think of that knee coming straight back, straight back, straight back without anything else moving. So core is kind of on here, and we're going straight back into that knee. 2, 3, it's not a huge movement, but we're going to try to go for control and stability. 4 and 5. And then we'll switch and flip over to the other side and try 5 of them on the other side. So again, this is more for control, stability, awareness in that pelvis and SI area. Okay, so squeezing here, I'm going to think of punching that knee forward slightly and then pulling that knee back into my hip. 1, keep that core tight. 2, 3, 4, and 5. Okay. So we're starting to slightly activate those inner thighs and core, but getting some motion into those hips. Okay, now we're going to go into a hip 90-90. Now, if you know that sitting cross-legged is super tight and restricting for you, I want you to sit onto a bolster, a stack of pillows, a stack of towels, blankets, whatever it may be, just to elevate the surface a little bit. That's going to help to reduce any pressure that might come into your knees. So we're going to start with hip 90-90, and we're really focusing a little bit more on this front leg. So if the knee is popping up like mine, this is something you want to come back to a little bit more often. Now, similar to what we did with the foam roller, you're going to think of this knee pressing straight back into your hip. I want your back straight, your belly button to come up. So I want a flat back. You shouldn't need to go very far. We're going to try just 5 breaths here. Okay. Just relaxing. big breaths from that low rib cage. Each breath out, you're thinking of that knee pulling back into your hip even more. You should feel that stretch around the glute. Just 5 slow, relaxed breaths, really focusing on that exhale. That exhale is what helps to reduce that tension in that muscle, get that brain connection to that muscle to calm down and say, you can relax, we can increase range of motion. And then we'll go to the other side and we'll do 5 breaths on this other side. So again, lift that belly button high, reach that knee back into your hip bone, and we're going to breathe and relax. Now, say you're used to doing yoga and you are really good in pigeon pose and you already have your knee just laying flapping flat to the ground and you don't really feel like a ton of stretch in this position. Again, we don't want you to round it all. We want that back really straight, that knee shooting straight back into that hip. That should change the sensation of that stretch that you're feeling. However, if it's still not enough, this might not be an area that you need to focus on, okay? The next one might be a little bit more important to increase the stability within that hip mobility that you have. So now we're going to come back to the other side. And now we're going to do an eccentric lower. So I want you to think of that knee coming back. So back straight, knee coming back. Now with no hands, I want you to slowly lower, pressing that knee into the ground. Slowly lower. Press away from the ground and come back up. And again, slow till you feel a stretch and then press away. That belly button is lifted up. That spine is straight. That knee is pulling back, back, back as you come down and press away. Couple more. Lower slowly, pressing that knee down and then push that knee down as you come up. Lower slowly as you come down. Press that knee away, and we'll try 5 onto the other side as well. So press that knee back, belly button lifts, spine is straight, push that knee down, and then push that knee down as you come back up. If you need to use a little fingertip support at first, that's fine. The goal is to move into this range using that body weight as a loaded position for those hips to really take on that pressure and start to improve that range of motion by using that strength and that control around that hip. Again, we're trying to open up the capacity of those hips so we take off that tension in the back. One more. And coming up. Good. Okay, then we're going to go into a half kneeling position. So you can use support from a chair around you. You can also roll up your mat or just throw a pillow underneath your knee. Okay. You can also hold on to a foam roll or whatever is best for you. We're going to alternate between a hip flexor stretch and a hamstring stretch. So we're going to tuck that tailbone under, squeezing that glute. I like to place the hand on the inside of that knee and push into that hand. So this is automatically stabilizing into my pelvis. I'm going to reach high to the sky, take a breath in, breath out as I bend over that top leg, and then pressing slightly forward. You should feel a big stretch here. So again, and then, sorry, not again. We're going to drop that hip back and rotate that pelvis forward now. So from that tucked under position, now we're going to rotate forward. Keep that foot relaxed. Knee can be slightly bent until you feel a stretch into your hamstring. So you don't even have to go very far until you start to feel that stretch with that back straight. That's a true hamstring stretch. That foot is relaxed. And then we come right back up. Lay hand in the inside, breath in as we reach, breath out as we lean. Then rotate and hamstring. Good, a little faster. Breath in, breath out. Tuck that tailbone and then untuck that tailbone. Reach that tailbone straight back. And again. And rotate. And last one. So we're starting to just move the tension around that pelvis, getting things to unlock here. And then we'll try the other side. So again, tuck that tailbone, squeeze that glute, hand on the inside to stabilize, breathe in, reach, breathe out, lean over as you slightly lean forward. Then we're going to untuck that pelvis. That foot can come forward just slightly, but hips are over that knee, and then hips back. Get that hamstring stretch. Breathe in. Breathe out. And untuck. Oop. And lean. And that's what something can be here. You don't have to be balancing the whole time. Squeeze. Breathe in. Breathe out. And hopefully that putting that hand inside and kind of squeezing into that hand helps to provide that stability on that hip flexor stretch, because you don't really have an extra hand. And this is something you can come back to, like maybe it's in the morning when you just feel like you need a little movement, you don't have a lot of time. At least just feeling like you're opening the hip flexors, or maybe it's your midday work break. You've been sitting for a long time. Last one. And unlock. And now this last one is a little bit harder to get to, but we're going to do our best. Talk it through together. Now, actually, I'll start with the other leg in front. Maybe you'll be able to see better. Coming back to that hip pull back, that's what we're going to do with the half kneeling position. So I'm going to pull this knee back. Okay, I'm going to allow my hand to kind of drop. And already I feel like a stretch into the back of my glute here. That's what we're opening up the back of your posterior floor. We're increasing that internal rotation and that hip range of motion. Okay, so I'm going to pull this hip straight back, keeping that knee in toward me. Then I'm going to allow my hand to kind of slide down that leg. And if I can, I'm going to rotate up to the ceiling into a half kneeling position, and then coming right back. Let's try it again. Hip goes straight back, lean down, and rotate up, and coming back. Hip goes straight back, rotate into that leg, and up to the ceiling. And hopefully you start to feel that whole stretch, maybe around that hamstring, that glute, the back of your pelvic floor. Some things we just end up gripping, especially if we have a lot of stress or tension throughout our day. We don't realize how much we can hold tension into our pelvic floor. You don't have to even open up, even if it's just a pull back and open, keep that knee in, and you're just coming down. And then you come up. Try the other side then. And again, it's a pull back. So that knee pulling back into that hip. Keep that knee in towards your body as you rotate that chest and coming down. You should feel that stretch into the back. And if it doesn't feel good for you to move in and out of it right now, that's what's doing about 5 on each side. If that doesn't feel good for you, you can just come into the position and try to hold it. Maybe you're a little bit higher and you're just going to do 3 to 5 breaths. That's also totally fine until you start to feel a little bit more comfortable moving in and out. I like moving in and out. It gives me more of that okay, here I am in a kneeling, and then here I am opening up the back of my pelvic floor and that glute and finding a little bit more hip range of motion. So again, we get that tension out of that SI. I learned to bend a little bit better through my hips so that hopefully that translates to how I'm moving throughout the day as well. Now, if you like flows like this, we have a ton in Gen Health. A part of our membership, I really talk through all of our mobility flows, and there's certain plans. So especially if you're feeling like SI pain has been something that's hindering you in your everyday, I'd highly recommend our low back plan on Gen Health. You can try a week free, see what it feels like. It's not only going to have mobility, but stability work, main exercises that you could be missing, and core work to help find that stability again. We mentioned the pelvic floor a little bit here, but understanding a little bit deeper of how that plays a role in the trunk can really help to support what you're feeling around your hips and SI. So if you want, you can check out a free week there, but otherwise come back to this as often as you need. Don't forget, if you love what you're learning, I have so much more in stock for you. So hit that subscribe button, check out the other videos I've done in the past, and leave any comments of any suggestions that you have for videos in the future. And I can't wait to help you feel incredible and amazing within your body.